But just then, a guy started playing a loud song on his little speaker, and it sounded so annoying. Suddenly, our eyes met, and I realized that it was the extra cute cashier. He walked up to my table and then started poking my cheek. "Excuse me, what are you doing?" "Sorry, I've been wanting to check if you're real since I saw you at the grocery store. You're just too beautiful for this world. And you're just too cheesy for the whole universe. But at least I made you smile. I'm Derek, by the way. And you?" "Quinn." "Nice name, Quinn. Do you need a king?" "Nope. I just need you to shut your noisy music off." "Hip-hop music is not noise. It's amazing." "Sure. Whatever makes you happy. It's you, babe." I wanted to roll my eyes, but I ended up smiling instead. After that, Derek always turned up when I was in the cafe, and I enjoyed his company. I learned that he was a working college student who dreamed of becoming a famous hip-hop dancer someday. He was flirty and funny, and a great listener. If your ex really loved you, he would have waited for you. Just forget him. I'm sure I'm more handsome. Maybe, but he definitely dresses better than you. Derek always wore hoodies and jerseys thrice his size. He was the opposite of Victor, who always looked like a prince. Snap out of it, Quinn. He's engaged. One day when I was with Derek, a familiar couple entered the cafe, Victor and Elena. I had to show them that I was doing just fine. As I saw them getting closer, I let out an exaggerated laugh. "Oh, my boo-boo bear. You're so funny. I want to die." What's so funny about my neighbor's cat dying? But I continued laughing as if an octopus was tickling me. "Oh, hey girl. Oh my god, hi. What brings you two here?" "This guy just can't get enough of me, so he brought me here on a lunch date. I heard you went back to school." "Yeah, life goes on, you know." "Oh, this is my boyfriend Derek. He's a hip-hop dancer." Victor suddenly butt in. "I thought you hated hip-hop." "Not when my boo-boo bear dances to it. He's just the coolest." "You really think so?" Victor looked rather mad. He was jealous, and I was loving it. They sat at a table across from ours, and I jumped onto Derek's lap and started feeding him French fries. Victor kept looking my way, and Elena looked furious. Soon enough, the lovebirds were having an argument, and they both left. "So, I'm your boyfriend now, huh?" "I'm sorry, that came out of nowhere, but I just had to do it. I didn't want to look like a loser in front of them." "I get it. We can continue pretending, you know, to show them. Just be careful, though. You might fall in love with me for real." "Oh, trust me, I won't. You're not my type." And just like that, I got myself a brand new boyfriend, and the chance to take him with me came soon enough when I heard about the next skating competition Elena and Victor were participating in. I had to see how good she was, and I was stunned. Elena skated like a pro, and their chemistry was on fire. But as soon as I got out of the hospital, I asked my driver to take me to Victor's house, and he looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Quinn, is that really you?" "Surprise! Did you miss me?" Of course I missed you. I just can't believe you're here." I threw my arms around his neck and lifted my head for a kiss, but just then a girl suddenly appeared behind him. "Elena! Bestie! Oh my god, is this for real? I can't believe I've been sleeping for 3 freaking years. I need to know everything." Well, Victor and I had our 3rd sectional win yesterday, and we'll be competing in the nationals soon. I literally buffered for a few seconds. "What the what?" "She replaced you as my partner a year after your accident." "Oh, wow. That's great. Elena's pretty good at skating too." "I know, right? We make a good team. And, one more thing. We're engaged." Nice joke, bestie. But I felt like an elephant had slapped me when they both went silent. "Oh, you're serious? You're not mad at us, right? I mean, it has been 3 years." "We didn't know if you'd ever wake up." "Of course, I understand. I'm happy for you." And then I turned and quickly left in my car, feeling like a zombie. But when I got home, I had a complete meltdown. Soon, I learned that aside from skating together and being engaged, Elena and Victor were studying at my dream university too, and it felt more painful than 10 toothaches. I visited the rink where I'd always practiced, but no one seemed to recognize me anymore. Everyone had moved on, while I'd lost 3 years, my career, my best friend, and my boyfriend. When my parents finally arrived, they did everything anything to cheer me up, but I just felt depressed. I had to start all over again, and I didn't know how. Mom convinced me that the first step was to go back to high school and finished it. But everyone my age had graduated, and being the oldest in class was weird, and it just made me miss Victor more. One day I was at the grocery store when I saw Victor and Elena being interviewed on television. It really hurt to see how happy they looked together. I felt like another meltdown was coming, but just then the cashier caught my attention. He was dancing as he worked. So extra. But when he turned around, I saw that he was really cute. To my surprise, he gave me a knowing smile and winked. I just ignored him and walked away. A few days later, I was studying at a cafe near my school that always played classical music, my favorite. But just then, a guy started playing a loud song on his little...
Probably not.
Didn't grow up in a normal household. Dad basically raised me all by himself because Mom was a teenager trapped in an adult's body. She partied every night and didn't come home until 3 a.m. She asked me to make her breakfast every day.
Oh, sweetie, can you make mommy waffles?
I don't know how to make waffles. I'm 6, but I'll let you have some of my Cocoa Puffs. Dad wasn't happy with Mom's behavior, and the two got divorced when I was 8. Dad and I lived on our own for the next few years. I was kind of a nerdy loner, but my life was good. I got straight A's, I played the trumpet, and I was super close with Dad. One day when I was in 10th grade, things took a big turn. Dad fell in love with a widow who he married later on. The minute we moved in with her, I knew I liked her. Your dad told me you got an A on your history test. So to celebrate, I baked you a cake. You baked me a cake because I aced one test? Okay, Dad, she's a total keeper. My stepmom had 2 twin daughters, Brenda and Lily, who were a year older than me. But they clearly hated that their mom had met someone, so they refused to talk to me and Dad. Unfortunately, my stepmom didn't have the best relationship with her actual daughters. Brenda was a wild child who stole money from my stepmom's purse to buy cigarettes. Lily was busy being the school queen bee and dating a different boy every week. She barely passed her classes. Of course, just sleep till noon, don't do your homework, and waste your life. I wish you two were more like Thea. She's smart, talented, helps me with chores, and doesn't steal my credit card. The closer I grew with my stepmom, the more my stepsisters started hating me. One day I was sitting in class and started itching like crazy. That's when Lily started snickering. Does the kitty have fleas? This isn't funny. I could have a serious skin infection. The teacher sent me to the nurse and found itching powder in my pants. I just knew Lily had sprinkled it in there. I was really mad and I wanted to tell stepmom, but I decided to let it go this time, just because I didn't want to make things worse between us. But that thought never occurred to those two. They kept stealing my stuff, breaking my things, and leaving unpleasant little presents for me. One time, I was on my way to school when suddenly a bunch of girls pinned my arms behind my back, and with them were Brenda and Lily. We're gonna need your wallet, loser. I want to get a lip piercing. I need a new dress for a party this weekend. I knew I wasn't a match for so many of them. Suddenly, I let out a scream loud enough to wake up the dead. They all looked shocked as I kept screaming like a maniac, and some people stepped out of their houses at the noise. And that sent the girls running. I was feeling quite pleased with myself, till I got to school. A bunch of kids walked by laughing, holding up their phones. As I ran to help him, I heard Victor laugh. A few piano tricks and some borrowed clothes can't buy something like class. It's so obvious that he's not one of us, Quinn. Derek glared at him angrily, and I was afraid the two might break into a fight, so I dragged him out of the party and apologized for everyone's behavior. But you think the same, don't you? That's why you groomed me, to make me presentable. Derek, that was a mistake, and I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. But what about your party? I hate huge parties. Take me somewhere else, please. He took me to a club, and everyone was just looking at him as he danced. I totally totally understood why. Come on, dance with me. I'm not into hip-hop, but he pulled me onto the dance floor and we just went wild. As the song ended, everyone clapped for us and he drew me close.
I'm sorry for ruining your birthday.
You actually made it better, and before I knew it, I found myself kissing him, and it felt surreal. I couldn't stop thinking about Derek or that kiss all night, but I really had to focus on my skating because I'd entered my name into the next big competition. I had to work hard to get my momentum back and to learn how to dance without a partner. One day while I was practicing alone on the rink, Victor suddenly turned up. What are you doing here? And why were you such a jerk to my boyfriend? Quinn, can we forget about everyone else for a moment? Will you dance with me for old time's sake? I did miss skating with him, so I gave in. We started dancing together, and it felt so natural. We just knew each other's minds and bodies on the rink, and we fit together perfectly. The other skaters started gathering around to watch us in amazement. As the music ended, we were both out of breath, and suddenly he leaned in and kissed me. But just then, I spotted Derek watching us, and he turned to leave. Derek, no, wait! As I ran after him, Victor grabbed my hand. Let him go. Come back to me. I miss you. But what about Elena? You're engaged. But I like you more. And with you by my side, we can definitely reach the Olympics. Maybe we're just meant to be friends, Victor. We both know we're not. We belong together. I'll wait for you till you come back to your senses, Quinn.